Lok Sabha 2024 elections is indeed crucial for Karnataka, all the stakeholders here. For the JDS and the BJP, it's a real test of their alliance. The BJP lost out in 2023 assembly elections. Will this be their time to avenge that loss? For the Congress party, of course, they're confident that their 5 guarantees that made them win the 2023 polls will indeed help in winning the Lok Sabha. That momentum will continue, and their guarantees will be a fitting response to the Modi guarantee. Whatever it is, I'm here in Bengaluru's Karnataka, traversing through the different hot seats here, bringing in some really strong voices to find out what are the real issues that truly preside this Lok Sabha elections. Join me on Election Express Karnataka. The most honest opinions you'd find is at a time when people are eating their meal. I'm at Vidyarthi Bhavan, very popular restaurant. Best dosas, idli, vada. It's been around for nearly 4 decades, 40, 50 years. One of my favorites. So let's find out what's the pulse here while they eat. What would be your reason to vote this time?
No, I think that's a fundamental right each one of us have, and we should be exercising it. We need to see who's the right person, and not just the person here, right? At the center, who is the right person that you want, and vote accordingly.
In Karnataka, I think a few of the guarantees that the Congress have come up with may have an impact. Have an impact, but not to that extent, I feel so.
What do you think?
Yeah, BJP should come. Yeah, we vote for BJP only. We love Modi.
Things are going so bad. Unless we vote, a good governance would never ever come.
I'm going to vote because Modi has to go. He has to go. It's enough. We need some peace and harmony like we had it before, and this communal politics has no place in India. It's not good for our future generations.
We have Mayataranga band members. Nayataranga band members. Okay, my bad. Arun and Giridhar with me. Giridhar, why don't you start off your election this time? This is a mood where people are wanting to see change in the country. Very often we see them skipping their the vote process itself because they want to go off on a holiday. But if you have to motivate them on what would be your reasons to stay back and ensure you exercise your franchise.
I think it's a very, very important for every citizen to vote and elect, The reason is many of us, we try to crib and say that, okay, the system is not good and, there's so much of corruption. So I think this is the only time they need to vote the right person. Then, okay, they can say, okay, we have voted for the right person. Correct. If anything happens, we are responsible. We cannot complain. That's it.
Can I ask you your issues? What are the real issues that preside this election for you?
I would like to request the government, whoever comes in, to do the best for music and the musical community or the entire music community of India.
Can I ask you if you all sing? And that's why you've got to go out there and vote. This is the mood that we see here in Bengaluru. People super enthusiastic and pumped up to cast their franchise, because if you don't, you can't complain later.
Go and vote for the right person.
Look, the way they mount dosas on their arms, this is due to the soaring crowds outside. They've got to literally serve thousands of people sometimes, so they take 16 to 17 dosas in one shot, and it's hard to get a table and super hard to resist this yummy dosas of Vidyarthi Bhavan. I'm really going to try and catch a seat here and hope that he's going to serve me one. Ilaktira. Hey, Ilaktira. This is going to be tricky and interesting. Okay, then. Guys, are you all excited this Lok Sabha? Woo, I see that cheer. What's the most exciting part about voting this election?
It's going to be a close fight, in my opinion.
Oh, close fight. What's so close about it? Really? Is it close?
I see a change in ideology in my social circle.
Okay.
So that's what I think about this time's
You
elections.
think that there's going to be a change? What do you think? You're going to see the same, or maybe the same netas with a different mindset, or a different regime altogether?
I think it isn't exactly practical, or we shouldn't be looking at it in a way that what our politicians' mindsets are. I think expecting holistic change, holistic ideologies is not realistic. I think we should look at which party, which option is doing more good.
So even if it's the same leaders doing great work, you're fine with it?
Yes, because that is what it comes down to.
Absolutely. So good work is what it all comes down to ultimately. Why would you vote this time?
Of course, we do want, a lot of changes to come in, and moreover, we want, the metros to be constructed pretty quick.
Oh, man.
So, of course, we
Totally true. Metros are mostly half done. What do you think is the reason for this half done shoddy job?
Also, it's more about financing here. Like the proper budget hasn't been released yet, and more politicians are focused in more campaigning and everything rather than focusing on the development. I would say.
Campaign. Why would you vote?
I think for better roads. Firstly, Bangalore needs better roads. Traveling is very difficult from one end to the other.
Really?
It takes me at least half an hour or 1 hour to reach just Yelahanka from here. So
We're voting for the Prime Minister, voting for the party at the center. So it's really going to impact our country on the whole. So yeah, your reasons for the nation, why you'll vote?
I feel that we need to vote to save the democracy and for the name we have as a nation. To be honest, we live in very difficult times. The opposition leaders are being arrested. This is the first time a sitting chief minister is being arrested. Their opposition bank accounts are being blocked. And there are many things.
But you wouldn't even imagine for once that maybe those opposition leaders could be corrupt?
So do you mean that if I am a corrupt opposition leader and if I change my party and go to a party that is in power, all my crimes and all will be washed away, like how it is happening right now?
To save democracy, first we need stability. So as a law student, you see that anything that comes, we have to not divide people based off their divides, the social divide, social status.
What's your reason to vote this time?
since it's the first time for many of us here, we would actually love to actually be able to choose our own leaders. And, like at the end of the day, any party that brings more peace and, doesn't rule based on communal hatred, it's fine.
My reason is this term is going to be the crucial one for me because the jobs and everything. I am graduating now and my whole life is the first 5 years. And if the party is not giving me opportunities as a student and as a fresh graduate, I'm not getting the right kind of resources, how am I going to grow?
Are you okay with freebies? Some parties giving away freebies?
I think anything that is a hurdle to political literacy should be discouraged, and we're not for freebies.
You're not for freebies.
We're for
I
transparency.
feel freebies will not help us because we can see the Punjab's case over here, how the freebies have actually been in a disadvantage to them, how the freebies on electricity and all has caused a backlash to them, like how the Hero Corporation in India is planning to shift from Punjab to Uttar Pradesh because of the lack of infrastructure development and government aid in Punjab.
Can I ask some of you of a few Karnataka MPs that you really reckon with, someone that you admire, any names that you all want to drop?
Tejasvi Surya.
You like Tejasvi Surya?
Tejasvi Surya, Mansur Ali Khan. These are prominent youth leaders who didn't actually rise from a very strong background but came up, have done work.
Mansur Ali Khan is a new candidate, and I think he's doing good work.
Good work, according
And
to
his
you.
PR is strong, so yeah, I think he's going to take
Soumya Reddy,
Soumya Reddy?
the former Jayanagar MLA.
Okay.
I believe she's a very powerful candidate and she has a good influence on Jayanagar.
Oh, that's interesting.
Geeta Shivraj Kumar.
Oh, Shivraj Kumar's wife and also Shimoga MP who's going to be standing opposite Raghavendra. Anyone?
Mansoor Ali Khan.
Mansoor Ali Khan.
Narendra Modi.
Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi, guys?
Yes, yes.
You asked for MD, they told for a PM.
Okay. But that's the charm of the Prime Minister, you see, as you
We're
know.
going straight to the point. We just want Modi. Simple. No one else.
I think
You want Mansoor Ali Khan locally and Modi in the center. Yeah. She just said yes.
Diversity exists. I guess that's when the diversity exists, when strong opposition holds and there is a stronger present party so that they can make it better. And whatever we are thinking as development, it will grow better if there is a strong opposition, if there is a better rival.
I think even the current party in power has taken many bad decisions. Good ideas, but bad execution.
What is the biggest wrong decision in your view?
Demonetization, because I come from a business background.
Well said. Will you all go out and vote? Using all its star power here to woo voters in Bengaluru South for Tejasvi Surya. Annamalai there campaigning hectically with the fan base here quite evident for the two. Of course, ultimately they're seeking for votes in the name of Modi. At this point, national issues take precedence. Tejasvi Surya asking for a second term, and it seems like he's managed to capture the voters of Bengaluru South by and large. What is special about Tejasvi?
He is very young and dynamic and does the work, whatever he says, and he gets all the things work done, madam. He is for everyone, actually.
Modi, Annamalai, Tejasvi Surya.
Modi, Modi, Modi.
He's 100% coming to 5 lakhs majority.
5 lakhs majority. Wow, that's a big number.
He's the perfect candidate, not a good candidate. He's the person who can build a new nation for us, with the new ideas, with the new technology.
Tejasvi, you have Annamalai on your side. Two youth leaders campaigning for you. How does it feel?
Really grateful that Shri Annamalai has come to Bengaluru to campaign for me and support us. The suburban rail project I got approved the last 40 months. We expanded the Bengaluru Metro from 7 kilometers to 78 kilometers. This year, Yellow Line will be operational. I got it expedited. I got the NIA office opened in Bengaluru. We got the US consulate approved for Bengaluru. So a lot of these big ticket infrastructure projects which were pending from so many years, we got done. Among all Karnataka MPs in Parliament, I have asked them.
You asked the most number of questions, I know that.
Participated in the highest number of debates, spent the most number of funds under MP lads, and been recognized as the best debutant parliamentarian of the 17th Lok Sabha. I have worked very hard to represent the interests of our state and our constituency in the parliament. I have been effectively on the ground trying to help people at times of crisis. So whether it is when a bank got defrauded or when a big residential project, the builder was fleeing, in all of these instances, I have been the go-to man for crisis situations for the people of my constituency. That's why they have to re-elect.
That's what it is locally. But a quick word from Annamalai. You're a young leader campaigning for a youth leader. How would you see BJP's prospects here in Bengaluru South? What do you have to say about Tejasvi?
Bangalore South is lucky to have a very high-performing MP. If you look at all the indices, this is one constituency that does very well on all the central government schemes. I was just having a talk about how he has increased the record from 14 Modi ji medical shop to 132. 44,000 street vendors are beneficiaries of Subhanidhi. So these are the main things that MP has to get instead of talking politics. So last time he got elected with 62% votes. This time I am very sure the vote percentage for him would be very higher, madam.
Is it in the name of Modi or is it Annamalai or is it Tejasvi? What is it? What kind of combination is this?
These are foot soldiers of Modi ji, madam. It is for Modi ji people vote. At the end of the day, we are facilitators between people and Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji.
from the people of Bengaluru South in Tamil. Notice Annamalai speaking in Tamil, appealing to voters of Bengaluru South areas in his language of Tamil. Tell us the connect you have with them.
Madam, yeah. In Karnataka, in Bangalore especially, I've served here. So people see me like their own son. And also there is a significant Tamil population inside the city. So they feel very happy. Somebody speaks in the language, they're able to connect. So I've been doing this for the last 2 years, madam.
Fantastic. One primary national issue why people should vote for. National issue.
Madam, there has to be a continuity. A Prime Minister is not a joke. A Prime Minister is a serious post. A person has to have caliber to sit in that chair. Now phase 1 is over, phase 2 is going to get over in 3 days. The India Alliance is yet to name their Prime Ministerial candidate. So people are very clear. When you can't even offer a Prime Ministerial candidate, why should people give their vote?
Alright, finally a national issue. Tejasvi Surya, two youth leaders coming together. What is your appeal to the youth of India and Bengaluru South, of course?
The young of India today are aspirational, they're ambitious. They know that a fast-paced economic growth is the only solution for catering to their aspirations. And that can happen with political stability, policy continuity that Prime Minister has given the last 10 years. We need stable leadership. So vote for Modi because he provides stable leadership, he provides policy stability, and Narendra Modi provides national security. These are the three things.
Alright, fantastic. All the very best, Tejasvi. There you have it. Two youth leaders, dynamic ones in their own right, Tejasvi Surya and Annamalai, making their way through the streets of Bengaluru South, campaigning in the name of Modi. Professor Rajiv, what is it that you're appealing for and asking for voters to vote for you on what grounds?
Multiple. One is the work that our state Congress government has done, the 5 guarantees that we've implemented that alleviates the pain of the people, the economic distress that they're facing under Modi Sarkar, price rise, unemployment, women dropping out of the workforce, people dropping out of the workforce, disillusioned and dispirited. So we've created opportunities for them.
It appears that the BJP's focal point at this point is the murder that's happened in Hubli. They've called it love jihad. They say this is a failure of law and order, and this is basically a direct fallout and a result of appeasement politics.
The BJP always tries to play with sentiments. They have no respect for the family that has been bereaved. They have no concern. They only want to exploit this tragedy politically. This is something they do all the time, and I condemn it. This is a very, very tragic issue, case, and the boy involved has been arrested. The law will take suitable action. But I want to condemn in this opportunity the Prime Minister's speech, where he has made a statement that he has basically twisted everything that Dr. Manmohan Singh said. He has made literally a hate speech. He should be banned from campaigning for the kind of speech he made, saying that the Congress is going to come and take away the Mangal Sutras of people and give it to Muslims. This is not appropriate for a Prime Minister of India. It is very clear that he is desperate. He is appealing to the baser instincts. He is trying to create tension and polarization. It won't work, Mr. Modi. We are sick and tired of this kind of divisive politics, and I hope the Election Commission finds its mission to prevent these kinds of speeches and condemns them. Mr. Modi criticized our guarantees. Now he's trying to copy them. Remember, we have implemented our guarantees. Mr. Modi is known for his jumlas. His grand speeches but no
He
substance.
speaks of India on the global scale, right? But the Congress's manifesto largely focuses on the poor, focuses on the basic. So this gap between the manifestos for the poor and for the country on a global scale that the BJP projects, how do you think voters will perceive that?
You know, if Mr. Modi is claiming to be this grand, champion of India on a global scale, why has the Indian army having to come out of a small nation like the Maldives? Why is he in denial about China's intrusion in Ladakh? What has he done about our own state of Manipur, which is in flames? All these questions people ask, all right? Remember, we are the ones who brought in the growth through liberalization. He's the one who slowed down the growth through demonetization. Okay, so people know. And when a lot of us have had an opportunity to grow and move forward, a lot of people have fallen behind. That's why we feed 83 crore people every day. And that's why it's important to provide a social safety net. Those who can will move on. The job of the government is to pay attention to the poor, not to just strut around like some peacock on the global stage.
And that's it on our show here as we come to a close, completing the campaign trail for the Congress candidate here, Rajiv Gowda. It seems like a good face-off between the BJP and the Congress in most parts of Karnataka. Will the BJP really manage to take its assembly revenge this time in the Lok Sabha? It remains to be seen. In the meanwhile, we're going to see all through the way flowers showering on their favorite candidates and the campaign trail heating up until 26th of April. Thanks for watching with camera person Shiv Murthy. This is Nabila Jamal signing off for India Today Bengaluru.
Thank you.